Well, hello everyone. How is everyone doing? Hopefully you're having a great day. I thought I would come on and pull a card to see where the collective mindset is at and maybe some support that wants to come forward with it. So yeah, let's just do a little bit of breathing first. We'll clear the space. I have lavender, a lavender garden spray. You can get this like at Hy-Vee. You don't have to go anywhere special for it. You can get whatever fragrance that calls to you. There's no right or wrong. But one of the best things that I could have did for myself when I was coming into this place of change for myself was to burn incense, have essential oils. They're actually nourishing. That's what they used. Well, that's what a lot of cultures still use. But back in the day, before pharmaceuticals, that was the pharmaceuticals, is essential oils, natural herbs. So there is data that backs it that it is healing. Lavender garden I think it has chamomile in it and a couple other things, but let's see. It doesn't say. But okay, I'm just needing to breathe here for a second. It is very relaxing. It's very relaxing. So I've been working with someone today on trauma, insecurities, wounding, relationships, what they bring up, what they draw out within our masculine body, our protector bodies. Often when there's a wounding that's going on, our child self defends us. And in so doing, or in doing so, often maybe fails us in the bigger picture. Because as children, we can't really see the bigger picture. So that's our coping mechanism for the most part. In our ego, when we're wounded, is our child self. That's what's coming forward. So anyways, I was working with someone today on just trying to settle themselves and be still, allow the balance of emotion to come in through their breath. The best gift that we can give ourselves is to just breathe. Remind ourselves there's nothing that anyone wants from us right now. There's nothing that anyone needs from us right now. All we need is what we are doing right in this very minute, right in the now. Meditation, stillness brings us to this place of calm. It brings us to this place of now. And that's what's really important when things may be chaotic, whether it's chaotic for a good reason or a not so feeling good reason, is to be able to still ourselves and find our balance, find our navigation. Because often life feels like this, right? Whee! And sometimes that's fun. I mean, I can remember being on a merry-go-round when I was a kid and having a great time. But I can also remember being on a merry-go-round, particularly as an adult, getting dizzy and sick. So it's important to get off and find your stability, find your grounding. So if you want to breathe with me, we're just going to take 3 breaths in, 3 breaths out. through our nose and release through our mouth. So let's do that. All right. So my head feels a bit congested. So that's telling me that there's a lot of energy that's moving around, particularly since the eclipse. And the eclipse, what the eclipse moon brought up, especially the blood moon, is past energies, past wounding, that maybe you thought, you know what, I already worked through. I thought I was over that. It brings up the energy of that back to be released. But if we're not aware of that, we might get a little agitated or frightened, like, what the hell is going on? And we might do things that actually helps it reattach. So the whole point would be to release it. The best way to release it is to accept whatever it is that you're feeling, and be kind of diplomatic on, you know, how do I work through this? How do I burn through this? How do I organize my thoughts? A good example, this is how crazy energy can be. So I'm gonna give you guys like a crazy example from this morning when I dropped off my son. As I was driving home, there is a younger couple that lives at the bottom of the block that has gone through a lot of stuff. I got like an eyelash in my eye. They've gone through a lot of shit. There's been a lot of yelling, a lot of fighting, a lot of cop calling, a lot of destruction. There's substance that's involved. There's children that's involved. There's extended family that's involved. There's just a bunch of stuff that's involved in this family. They've just been having a really hard time. And I have some mixed feelings about the mother, but truly I have compassion for her because I know what it's like to be in a very tough situation. But I also know what it's like to move out of it too. So that's where kind of the mixture comes from. But anyway, so this is what is crazy about energy. So I have this in my head where sometimes I guess you can call that judging, right? I'm judging her. But I saw her sitting out on she has kind of like this wall that goes around a tree. And I saw her sitting on the wall, and she was sitting there smoking a cigarette. She kind of looked a bit disheveled. And I know in the last couple of days, there's been a lot of fighting that's been going on over there. So she didn't look well. But for whatever reason, when I looked at her, and it was just a quick glance, and I looked back in the car, all of a sudden this thought of like when I used to smoke came in. And like for a second, it was like, ooh, I missed a cigarette. And then immediately what paired with that was wine. And I was like, ooh, I missed a glass of wine or 5 bottles of wine or whatever I was drinking. And then immediately after that, all of a sudden this depressed, oppressed, condensed emotion came upon me. And it reminded me of like, whoa, that was a horrible place for me to be in. But here's the trickster, is just a millisecond before there, my mind had some type of connection with liking the cigarette, with liking the 18 bottles of wine, by looking at the sadness of this woman, this young woman, that I have mixed feelings about in past judgment at some points, during some points still with, but that sparked that in me. So again, here's an example of how what's on the outside of us is a reflection of what's going on the inside. So we can very easily make the connections that stuff was being brought up in me. That's my stuff. She's just the mirror to it. of me still working through that. And luckily I've done a lot of work. I've done a lot of work that I was quickly able to recognize that. And then not only release that energy for myself, but also release the attachment to judgment that I had in that moment. Correct myself, check myself, and send love. And send love. And that's tough to do. That is tough to do. So that's the energy that's been coming up today. And again, if I'm a partial expression of a collective, a very large collective, then that's maybe, if you're watching this, what you might be experiencing at some extent too. So let's pull a card and see what the universe wants to offer us today to talk about. We're only going to take about 10 more minutes because I want to keep these short, to keep people connected in their breath, which it means attentiveness. And tomorrow, whoa, we got a couple cards. Tomorrow, what I want to try to do is a question and answer. So I'm going to try to figure out a time to come on. I'll probably post it in my story, a time that I will do a live. And tomorrow is Thursday. So it will probably be like after like people get off work, maybe somewhere in the earlier evening hours. So people might, if they want to watch this live and ask a question, it gives more people the opportunity to do that. And I'll have to probably be looking like really close up at my my phone to see if who's asking what, but we can try to do that. Or you know what, maybe I could take a question right now and kind of see how that works if there's a few people that are on. If you have a question, type it in, and if I could see it, I'll try to share some information, some guidance that's coming through for you. So the two cards that dropped out are the River Queen, flow, letting go, natural movement. That's exactly what we were talking about. Just being still, experiencing yourself, getting into the flow of the vibration that's coming through, trying to listen to what you're telling yourself so that then you could make some decisions that will be helpful for you to make it even Steven, to balance it. 36, the number 36 to me is the number of correction. And like a lot of prisons are on Highway 36 that I'm attached to or connected to. So it is asking the masculine energy to find the flow in the feminine. Move into the feminine energy. That's the energy of compassion. And I'm not talking about the sexes here. I'm talking about each of us have this within us. So getting into some breath work of compassion and allowance. Kind of like with that woman that I saw. Being able to see the other perspective. And then in turn, being able to see myself, right? Because that's ultimately what happened. I saw myself in her. I saw that there were still pieces that I'm still working on releasing. Because that's the other thing. When you come out of a tough place, what we would perceive as failures, forgiveness is a process. Self-forgiveness is a process. And the moon brought up that there's still pieces within me that still need to be sprayed out. I still have some shame related to my choices when I was abusing alcohol. So when you're looking at someone, when you're judging someone, be still. And try and recognize where that attaches in with you. Where is that connected in with you? And then the phoenix. resurrection, surrender, surrender to change. The Phoenix. Oh, my lashes came off. maybe that's the point. Surrender. Surrender to the truth of who you are. 29 is the number. That's the number of healing. Find the beauty in you. Find the beauty in all of you. Not just the fancy parts of you, not just the well put together parts of you, not just the lighted parts of you. Find the beauty in all of you, no matter what it looks like. Because I guarantee the more accepting you are of yourself, the easier it is to release things about yourself that you may not like or that you may no longer appreciate. And watch this. You can fix it. Right? You can fix it. Once you can see it, you can fix it. That's what the Phoenix energy is about. It's about burning through some energy that wants to be seen. And often that energy that wants to be seen, that has to be burned up, it's sore. It's oozing. That's right, it's ready to explode. So allow yourself to heal. Whoever is listening to this, that's connecting with it and connecting into your own insecurities, which I connect with. You know, I mean, that's one of my insecurities, and has always been, is the way I look. Always, has always been that. Now, as I've gotten older, particularly in the last couple years, as I've become more whole, I've become more comfortable with who I am. But that doesn't mean that it goes away. I don't care what level of consciousness you get to, or who your soul is. What you assume as hierarchy, you still have aspects of yourself that, you know, are wounded, that you're working on. So 29, the Phoenix. If you gotta burn through something, burn through it. Light it up. Light it up. And if you're not sure what it is that you're trying to burn through, move into the river, Queen. Be still. Allow yourself to flow and feel. Allow yourself to self-correct. You don't have to put yourself in positions that other people are needing to correct you. All right, so that's all for today. I will post a little message as to what time I'll come on tomorrow. And for some of you have some questions, I'll give you some support and some messages back that I receive. And here's the thing with them. You get to choose to accept them or reject them. Just because I have some guidance telling me so-and-so, you know, this is what I'll tell you. Sometimes in my sessions, there are things that are said from someone else's guardian angels, somebody else's counsel, somebody else's higher self, that's trying to keep people on their toes, get people on their toes. So they might give information that you'd be like, what? That's not true. I ain't listening to that shit. And that's what it's intended to be. So there's no right or wrong way. There's no right or wrong way. So, okay. I hope everyone has a beautiful the rest of the afternoon. It's gorgeous outside. And I will I will talk to you guys soon. All right? Bye.